Tonight, our coverage as legal rights groups take the Canadian government to court for failing to prevent genocide in Gaza. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. A coalition of legal rights groups is taking the Canadian government to court for failing to prevent genocide in Gaza. The Coalition for Canadian Accountability in Gaza, which includes the Legal Center for Palestine and the International Center of Justice for Palestinians, has filed a lawsuit in Ontario's Superior Court. The suit claims Ottawa has neglected its responsibilities under the 1948 Genocide Convention and has violated the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The lawsuit challenges Canada's ongoing military exports to Israel and its failure to exert diplomatic influence over Israeli actions. The coalition argues that the government has missed crucial opportunities to impose sanctions on Israeli leaders and restrict Canadian citizens from serving in the Israeli military. The legal action also takes aim at Canada's Gaza Special Measures visa program. It argues the program has fallen short in providing safe passage for Palestinians escaping the conflict. TikTok has announced its plans to challenge Canada's recent order to shut down its operations in the country. The social media app argues the decision risks hundreds of Canadian jobs and is not in the best interest of anyone involved. It assured users that the platform will remain available, allowing creators and businesses to connect with audiences. The statement comes as Ottawa said yesterday it will ban the app. The Canadian government has ordered ByteDance's subsidiary, TikTok Technology Canada, to cease operations following a multi-step national security review. Innovation Minister François-Philippe Champagne says the government took the decision to address national security risks. A report from Reuters indicates the government began reviewing TikTok's business plans in Canada last year. U.S. search engine queries about moving to Canada surged yesterday after Donald Trump's decisive win in the presidential election. Google data shows move to Canada began trending Tuesday night as election results unfolded. Interest in relocation was highest in states won by Vice President Kamala Harris. These include Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Oregon, and Minnesota. Popular related searches included how to immigrate to Canada from the U.S., best places to live in Canada, and how to get a visa for Canada. Searches for other countries for potential relocation included Australia, Switzerland, Denmark, and Norway. The top search result for Move to Canada leads to the Canadian government's immigration page. A spokesperson for Employment and Social Development Canada says the website can handle surges in traffic. The man accused of assaulting two Muslim women in West London, Ontario, has made his first court appearance Tuesday. 79-year-old James Henkel appeared in the court briefly. A follow-up court date is set for mid-December. Police report reveals late September, Henkel allegedly shouted derogatory comments at a woman wearing a hijab. When a second woman came to her aid, both women were assaulted. Authorities say that as a third person tried to intervene, the suspect reportedly brandished a knife before fleeing on foot. Henkel now faces 6 charges, including assault with a weapon, assault, and mischief. Democratic Representatives Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar have been re-elected to the House of Representatives. Tlaib and Omar are the first Muslim women representatives in the U.S. Congress. Tlaib is also the first Palestinian American woman in Congress. She has won a 4th term representing Michigan with strong support from the Arab American community in Dearborn. Omar has a Somali American heritage. She is a former refugee and has claimed her seat for a 3rd term in Minnesota's 5th district. It is a heavily Democratic area that includes Minneapolis and nearby suburbs. Both Tlaib and Omar have been outspoken critics of U.S. military support for Israel, particularly in the current conflict in Gaza. Tlaib ran unopposed in her primary before defeating Republican challenger James Hooper. Tlaib and Omar are prominent members of the Squad. The group comprises of progressive lawmakers that includes Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and others. Two other squad members, Jamal Bowman of New York and Cori Bush of Missouri, have lost their primaries to candidates backed by substantial support from the pro-Israel American Israel Public Affairs Committee. The lobby group invested over $100 million this year in an effort to diminish pro-Palestine voices in Congress. The Malaysian government has drafted a resolution calling for Israel's removal from the United Nations. The resolution cites Israel's alleged violations of international laws in its treatment of Palestinians. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim made the announcement Monday. Anwar says the draft resolution is under negotiation. He says it will be presented to the UN General Assembly soon. The news comes following a statement from UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese. Albanese has urged Israel's suspension from the UN due to ongoing violations of international law and the occupation of Palestinian territories. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dismissed Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for the second time, citing a crack in trust between the two leaders. Gallant was first fired in March last year, but later reinstated after mass protests. Following the removal, Gallant has issued a statement detailing three main points of disagreement with Netanyahu. Their opposition to exemptions of ultra-Orthodox Jews from military service, the need for a national inquiry on October 7th attacks, and a commitment to bringing back hostages. Gallant says bringing back hostages requires painful concessions that Israel and the military could bear. Gallant's firing has once again sparked protests across the country. Demonstrators have lit fires on the Ayalon highway and are calling on Netanyahu to step down. Gallant's successor, Israel Katz, is known for his hawkish stance on military matters. Netanyahu's ally, Gideon Sa'ar, will assume the role of foreign minister. Medical sources in Gaza say Israeli raids since dawn have resulted in 27 deaths. At least 12 people have been killed following an attack on a school in the Shati refugee camp. Numerous others have been wounded. Ireland has announced it would join South Africa's case against Israel at the International Court of Justice by year's end. Ireland's parliament has passed a motion accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza. This follows South Africa's December filing with the top court. The filing argues that Israeli actions in Gaza violate the 1948 UN Genocide Convention. Several nations, including Spain, Bolivia, Colombia, Mexico, Turkey, Chile, and Libya, have also joined South Africa's case. At least 43,469 Palestinians have been killed since last October. 102,561 civilians are injured. In Lebanon, overnight Israeli airstrikes have targeted Beirut, killing 40 people. 53 have been injured. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.